G'day legends, welcome back to another Beastie Life video. Today I've made a mad dash through the rain, it's rubbish out there, to come along and do a Beastie's Corner for you guys. So today in Beastie's Corner we'll be having a look at the King Chrome grease gun. This is the top of the line model. It was 128 bucks from Bunnings, which is right up there in price. We'll go through why I picked this one, but first of all I'll let you know I paid full price for this. I'm not endorsed by King Chrome. I've got no association. I'm just doing an honest review because I just needed a grease gun and I thought you guys might like to check it out too. So why would you want a grease gun, first of all? Well, I mean, basically grease guns are used to lubricate internal mechanical systems and components, say like wheel bearings, lubrication points that are sealed off through the use of a grease nipple. So I'll show you a grease nipple now for those of you who've never seen one. This one's on the outboard motor of the boat. Okay, so we're over here at the outboard motor, and this here is a grease nipple. So you can see it's a little metal attachment. It's got a ball bearing at the front, and the grease has to be pumped through, pushes back the ball bearing and allows the grease to go into the internal compartment. So that's it there. So as usual, I do quite a lot of research and reviews and so on. And I actually went into Bunnings to look at the model under this. It's the $68 model, and it is a lever action rather than this is more of a one-handed gun use. The $68 one comes with a rigid hose, so a rigid metal hose, so it's fixed, and it means that if you want to be able to get to something a little bit trickier and your rigid hose doesn't make it, you need to buy the $25 flexi rubber hose that will allow you to then exchange and then put that on. So that's an extra 25, so then you're going from 70, 95 bucks, and then you're still a good 30 off this, but it was still bringing it a bit closer. So the next important point for me in a gun that I wanted was a four-way locking coupling. So you push the coupling on to the on the nipple and it will stay there by itself. It's got some little teeth that grab on. So I wanted that, which then means that you've got two-handed operation for the gun. Like there's a little bit of weight here, so I wanted to make sure it was easy enough to use. So that was the next thing. So the 68 model did have, in the rigid hose, did have the metal coupling, but when the $25 flexi hose was plastic, and I didn't like the thought of plastic going on and off the metal, that it might snap over time or wear down, just not as good as metal. So in this one, comes with the flexi hose already, and the jaw attachment coupling is metal. So that was a bit of a win for me. So I just went, bugger it, I'll get this one, and spent the extra money, and then came home with it. So I did see the research on the $68 one was fantastic. The reviews were through the roof and was brilliant. So then I came home, had a look at the reviews on this, and they're absolutely garbage. It's like 1.6 out of 5, and a lot of people whinging about having trouble purging and changing over the cartridges and all that sort of stuff, which I'll go into a Beastie's Corner, but that's a bit of a concern at this stage as we're about to use it. But I will you know, I noticed it's got a lifetime guarantee from King Chrome, which obviously got to read the fine print, but also too, Bunnings are pretty good. You take it back there with your receipt, and usually there's no questions asked on stuff like that. So let's head over to Beastie's Corner and rip this thing open and have a look and see what we get. See you over there. All right, legends, we're over here at Beastie's Corner. So here is our King Chrome grease gun. Let's get in there and rip this thing apart, eh? See what we get. It's quite a solid, heavy piece of gear, I must say. Get rid of the box. Okay, first thing I notice, get this out. First thing I notice is it's quite a solid construction. Got a good rubber grip here. We'll open up this locking handle. I did notice too that there's a little latch here. If you pull this latch, you can extend the handle down, which gives you more leverage. Well, Let's unscrew this, see how easy that is. There we go. Right, so here is your plunger. Pull this back to get the, oh, there's a bit of force there. There we go. One thing I like about this is you don't have to have a locking. Normally they have a little latch here or something that you have to lock it into so it doesn't retract. This one holds its own, and then push that to release. That has a very good spring on it. Goodness. Right. There's that. There's our handle. Going to roll away on me. There it goes. What else we got here? There's our flexi hose. Rigid hose. Instructions. So notice there's a QR code there. Shows you how to purge it, which is getting it airtight so the grease will come out. So put them over there. Right, so this is the coupling that I was referring to here, the 4-jaw locking system. You'll see these little 4 pieces of metal. That is what allows it to grip onto the nipple. So a bit of metal there for protection. Reasonably rigid, that's pretty good. Okay, so over at the outboard, I did want to show you how the metal coupling does, with its 4 teeth, the locking jaws do go on. So it's just a matter of pushing it onto the grease nipple, and you should hear a click, like so. And then that, when pulling that, doesn't want to come off. That'll allow that one-handed operation. And then to get them off, it's just a matter of tilting down and twisting, and out she comes. So, not a bad design. I think it's a must-have. And this is the what they call the rigid. That same thing, metal coupling inside. Pretty good stuff. Bit of Teflon tape, all similar. So you wrap this around the thread. That will go in here and it will screw on that way. So we want to have our tape running the opposite, so that the thread doesn't pull it off. Don't need too much. And we screw that on there like so. We get a nice tight fit. Like so. There you go. So that's that. Then all you would do is exactly the same thing with the flexi hose. Put some tape on that, put that in, and you get the same result. Now after this, you'll need to purchase yourself some grease. Now the reason I like this gun, it's a 500 gram canister, which means that you can hold the 450 gram cartridges, that they're stock standard. This is just a generic heavy duty grease, general all purpose. Valvoline, I just picked any old one off the shelf. I wasn't really too specific. I just wanted a generalised heavy duty grease, which I'll be using to do the bearings on the trailer. Yeah, so what you need to do with this is you don some gloves, because it can get extremely messy. So gloves go on. Hopefully that noise is not too triggering. Off. Right, so one end has the cap for the grease. Take the cap off, there's the grease inside. And the other end has a ring pull, which is what we put up the other end for the grease to come out. So the plunger will push the grease. It'll go in like this. The plunger will push the grease down, force it through there, and then out through the nozzle. Okay, so first thing to do is pull your lever back as far as it will go. Right, insert the grease. It's important to note too, there are multiple ways to fill these up. So you can get the cartridges. You can also get what's called a filler, like a bulk fill. So you'd buy a big tub of this and you would insert the you would insert it, say this is the tub, you would insert it in, you'd pull it out like a suction, it would suck all the grease up inside and then fill it up. The only reason I don't do something like that is if this cartridge is removable, so if I want to go, so for my outboard motor and so on, and bearings, I want to use a marine application, so I'll be using this for the motor and so on, and it's a different grease, but I can take the cartridge out, swap them over, and we're good to go. This one's similar, it's just the King Chrome one. You see it's got the ring pull at the bottom instead of the plastic, but it's the same. And I did notice on all of these greases, so that's a different colour, different components, different makeup. I did notice on a lot of them, they were saying do not mix grease, they can react and so on and have problems. So I think that applies more to those fillers. Don't have half a cartridge of this and then turn around and go, oh, I've run out of grease, I'll just use a different one, and you're mixing them, different types of grease in a particular inside, once you've inside the nipple, so, or inside that mechanical component, don't have multiple. So the good thing about this is you can swap them over as much as you like, because there's different greases for different things. So we put this in here, got to replunge this now, pull it right back, insert this in, nice fit. Right, I will pull this ring tab off and try pull this ring tab off. Right, that's that done. Try not to make a mess. Very hard with grease, so we push that in. Now this is the important part that they talk about with purging. So it's very important that you get all the air out of the gun when you're trying to push the grease through, or if there's still air in there, it will not come out. So what you need to do is only half do up the thread on the gun. So you'll notice that there's still a few thread rings there. And then what you need to do, you push the plunger all the way down. Release that lever to push the plunger all the way down. That'll push the grease down. See how we go. Right, so now we do have grease coming out. Let's dispose of that. Then completely do it up. And that should be purged. And then, yep, there we got our grease. So that is our purging done. Messy task, but we're done. Now the other thing that's handy with this gun over the $68 model is the bleeder valve here. So although I showed you the common way to bleed the air out, purge the air out by twisting it half the thread and so on like you just saw, this has that added option of depressing this to let the air out once you've depressed this lever. So that is something that is handy on this model. Can't wait to use it and check it out.